effort by Emmitt Smith.
But Sanders is in the end zone. Look at this
Explosion. That's a pretty good...
Emmitt Smith did not resent Barry Sanders because Barry was bad. He resented him because Barry's legend made other great NFL players feel invisible, forgotten, and unfairly judged. And Emmitt was not alone. From the locker room to the front office, from defenders to coaches to the man who raised him, Barry Sanders left a trail of frustration everywhere he went. Not because he was dirty, not because he was loud. Barry Sanders made people angry simply by being great. That is the part nobody talks about. Think about what it means to be so good that your teammates stress out, your rivals feel disrespected, your coach has to rebuild his system for you, and your own team drags you to court after you walk away. Barry Sanders did all of that, and through every single moment, he never said a word. He just handed the ball to the referee and jogged back to the huddle. That quiet, that calm, that refusal to celebrate, that is what drove so many people around him absolutely crazy. Barry was electric. Fans loved him because he was humble, explosive, and almost impossible to bring down. He ran for 15,269 yards with 5.0 yards per carry. But forces of nature do not care about the people caught in the storm. And a lot of people got caught in Barry Sanders' storm. Before we keep going, drop a comment below. Do you think Emmitt Smith had a fair reason to feel the way he did about the Barry Sanders hype? If you have not subscribed, hit that button now. This channel breaks down NFL history the way it really happened, not the cleaned up version. Let us go through every major relationship Barry had that ended in friction or conflict. We are starting with the one that might surprise you most. Number 7. William Sanders, Barry's father, set the tone for his son's entire life by refusing to treat him like the greatest. At Barry's 2004 Hall of Fame induction, William stood at that podium in front of the football world and said Jim Brown was the greatest running back of all time. He then introduced his own son as the third best running back ever, placing himself in second place. Some people in that audience called it disrespectful. Some called it embarrassing. But Barry never complained. He defended his father and said that tough love was exactly what kept him from getting too big for himself. William Sanders died in June 2011 at age 74. He never softened. He never changed his ranking. Because of that, Barry spent his entire career running toward a standard he was never allowed to think he had already reached. Number 6. Chuck Schmidt and the Detroit Lions front office turned Barry's quiet goodbye into a cold, legal battle. Barry retired in July 1999, tired of losing and convinced management had no real plan to win. But the Lions did not wish him well. They withheld $1.75 million from his final check. An NFL arbitrator then ruled Barry had to repay $1.833 million for the season he missed. His agent offered to pay the full $5.5 million the Lions demanded if they would simply release Barry to sign elsewhere. Schmidt refused. He said the team would hold Barry to those conditions unless he returned as a Detroit Lion. They did not want to help him. They wanted to own him. That is how the greatest Lion in franchise history ended his career. Not with a celebration, with a lawsuit. Number 5. Bobby Ross arrived as Lions head coach in 1997 with a rigid system that had no room for Barry Sanders. Ross wanted backs to hit the hole fast with downhill power. Barry wanted to pause, scan, cut sideways, and bounce plays outside. Through the first 2 games of the season, Barry had only 53 combined rushing yards. The partnership looked like it might fail. But Ross adjusted, adding fullbacks Corey Schlesinger and Tommy Vardell to create cleaner lanes. Barry responded by hitting the interior harder before making his cuts. He then rushed for over 100 yards in each of the final 14 games, finished with 2,053 yards, and shared the NFL MVP with Brett Favre. That sounds like a triumph, but the point the positive version always skips is this. One of the greatest seasons in NFL history only happened after Barry forced a coaching staff to bend to his style. His greatness required everyone else to move first. Number 4. John Randall was the loudest trash talker the NFC Central had in the 1990s. The Vikings defensive tackle made psychological warfare a central part of his game. He would scream wild, bizarre phrases at offensive players to break their focus and drag them into his emotional world. It worked on almost everyone. And then he played Barry Sanders. Barry did not engage. He did not push back. He did not celebrate after making Randall miss. He just handed the ball to the referee and jogged back to the huddle like nothing had happened. Randall has talked openly about how deeply frustrating that was. He could not get a reaction. Barry treated an ankle-breaking run with the same energy you would use to check your mail. To fans, that silence looked like humility. To defenders like Randall, it felt cold and impossible to fight. You cannot win a war of words when the other person refuses to speak. Number 3. Lomas Brown spent 7 seasons blocking for Barry and took genuine pride in every one of them. He has said that protecting Barry made him a better lineman overall. But blocking for Barry was not a normal job by any measure. In a standard NFL offense, linemen block specific angles based on where the play is designed to go. Barry routinely abandoned the designed play entirely. Brown would execute his block perfectly, turn around to check his work, and find Barry running behind him in the complete opposite direction. The entire offensive line had to operate under one strict rule: keep blocking until you hear the whistle. Because Barry might reverse field at any second, and any defender who sheds a block could suddenly make a tackle. Brown once told Barry in a film session to look for a cutback, because Bills defensive end Bruce Smith kept crossing his face. Barry used that advice and gained 40 yards on the play. His genius created beautiful moments for fans. It created non-stop stress for the men trying to protect him. Number 2. Scott Mitchell did not start the argument. The Bye Bye Barry documentary started it for him. The film featured prominent Detroit voices, including a rapper and a famous actor, along with former Lions head coach Wayne Fontes, all suggesting the Lions never won a championship because Barry did not have a good enough quarterback around him. Mitchell, who started under center for Detroit from 1994 to 1998, went to Facebook and made it clear he was done staying quiet. He was tired of being singled out as the one reason Barry never got a ring. Mitchell pointed to his 1995 season with 4,338 passing yards and 32 touchdowns to defend his record. He also praised Barry's generational ability along the way. So this was never about hating him personally. It was about a myth that had grown unchallenged for too long. Mitchell also pointed to playoff facts people kept ignoring. In the 1994 wildcard against Green Bay, Barry had 13 carries for -1 yard. Against Philadelphia in 1995, 10 carries for 40 yards. Against Tampa Bay in 1997, 18 carries for 65 yards. Barry struggled in the playoffs just like everyone else did, but the narrative only ever blamed the quarterback. Barry's myth swallowed the careers of the people standing next to him. Number 1. Emmitt Smith. This is where the title lives, and the tension is real. Emmitt and Barry split 8 straight rushing titles between them from 1990 to 1997. During that time, the media consistently framed Barry as the pure runner, the solo genius doing impossible things with nothing around him. And they framed Emmitt as a product of his offensive line. That argument ate at Emmitt Smith for years. He finished with 18,355 rushing yards and 164 rushing touchdowns. He had 1,586 playoff rushing yards and 21 playoff rushing touchdowns. Barry had 386 playoff rushing yards and 1 playoff touchdown. Emmitt had the better resume by almost every measure that matters for winning. But the public treated Barry as the more magical player, and Emmitt felt that every single day. His frustration was not personal hatred. It was about watching his vision, his pass blocking, his short yardage toughness, and his durability all get dismissed by a story that refused to give him his fair credit. Barry's highlight reel was so powerful, it made another all-time great feel like he still had something to prove. Drop a comment and tell me your honest take. Was Barry truly the greatest pure runner ever? Or did Emmitt Smith have the better overall career? The numbers are right there. Make your case. The phrase that NFL players hated Barry Sanders is not totally accurate, but it points to something real. His silence frustrated defenders. His style stressed his own linemen. His media image made Emmitt feel unseen. His playoff story made Scott Mitchell a scapegoat. His instincts forced Bobby Ross to scrap his playbook. His retirement became a legal war with his franchise, and his own father refused to ever call him the greatest. Barry Sanders never needed trash talk, scandal, or ego to become unforgettable. He just ran. He handed the ball to the referee. He jogged back to the huddle. For fans, it was pure joy. For everyone who lived with the real cost of his greatness, it was far more complicated.